open up Chrome and go to mixamo.com, Mixamo, and create account, log in, or use social sign-in to log in. Yes, Danny?
I looked at mixamo.com and it offered me the domain for the website.
How did you spell mixamo.com like
I
M-A?
must have spelled it wrong.
Also, on the desktop, there's a program called Maya. Go ahead and launch that. Maya 2019. We are going to need that. Hello. If you guys are just coming in, grab a computer, try and sit next to someone. Actually, don't try. Succeed sitting next to someone, please. And for you guys that just walked in, go to mixamo.com, as you can see up on the projector, and log in. Okay. And then for you guys that just walked in, there's a program on your desktop called Maya. Please go ahead and launch that in the background. So in my intro class yesterday, intro to game class, is anybody in my intro to game class in here? Oh, crazy. We did this, this girl, which she's cool. Her name is, Jolene or something. So in Mixamo, when you're logged in, if you click the characters tab at the top here, Mixamo is a program that's an animation library, and it's an animation library as well as a character library. And what you can do is you can use characters from here and put animations on them and use them for stuff like animations or video games or whatever. So you can click on any one of these characters, like Mr. Mouse over here. I don't know. So you can click on Mr. Mouse over here, and then once you select them, you can click on animations, and up in search, you can type in dance or whatever, and then you can click on an animation, and then they'll play that, right? And so in the upper right hand corner, there's like download buttons. There's different adjustments you can do to these animations, like arm space, overdrive. You can trim the animation, so you can do a bunch of different stuff. Yeah. So in my intro to game class, we did a demo where we picked one of these characters, that Jolene girl, the plant girl, whatever that was. I believe it's Jolene, yeah. And we put her in a video game engine, had her running around and stuff. Well, we're going to do that in here today, but we're going to do a more advanced demo where we're actually going to import. We're gonna use a control rig feature that this has, which is a more advanced deal. Definitely not going to start out easy today. That's cool. Alright, this URL I am putting on the projector. Everybody make a new tab and go to that. Gonna download some files. You don't have to use Firefox. It's called Firefox Send, and you can download files. Go ahead and download those.
Is this just right now, or is this something that we need to put on our flash drive?
Yes, definitely store these files.
You're not gonna be able to open up them. You
What?
just need to have them downloaded.
Yeah, there's nothing to open up. These are Maya plugins. I'm going to show you how to install those in a second. But definitely put these in your Dropbox, Google Drive, or other storage, because this will be something you'll use later. These are mixamo tools, the mixamo rigging tools that are for Maya. And I would say put them on online storage, because when we come in here and I say, hey, install your mixamo tools, we want you to be able to know what that is and do that pretty quickly. Yes?
His link expired for some reason.
Yeah?
Did you type it in right?
It shouldn't expire. I have 100 downloads in 7 days. You want to try that again? Works for me.
Do you want us to move the file anywhere on the computer?
Not right now.
And it's just that mixamo files, right?
Yes. Alright, also go to sketchfab.com, and do a search for Spiderman. You're going to have to go ahead and log in. And this is the model we're going to go ahead and work with today. Little skinny Spider-Man. There's so much cool stuff in here. You can use social sign-in, Google and such. Yeah, we'll stick with Spider-Man. The Amazing Spider-Man looks like this. Go ahead and download this from sketchfab.com. There's a little download button. Left hand, middle of the screen. Download model.
That specific one right there?
One more time.
You want that specific one right
I want this specific one right there. So, remember the person sitting next to you is your buddy. So if you have questions, first stop is them, second stop is me. Because if I'm lecturing and stuff, you know. And it's going to ask you what formats you want to download. Download the OBJ original format. It is called The Amazing Spider-Man. Try that. Sketchfab.com. I know you can do this. Did you ask for silent buddy over here?
Yes.
Make sure you download the OBJ file, .obj, not auto-converted format or whatever. Second one was.
Mr. Kerr,
Yes.
I have trouble finding the guy.
The Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, just for whatever reason, there's some bug in their website. Click on Sketchfab at the top, reload the home screen, and do another search. There's a bug on this website, you guys. Some people can't find Spider-Man in the search. Just click on Sketchfab up in the upper left-hand corner, and then do a search again. Spider-Man. And then you'll see The Amazing Spider-Man somewhere with a black screen behind him. All right. So step number one, we're going to get these mixamo tools installed. So both of these files, Spider-Man and mixamo, are zip files, by the way. And has anybody in here never worked with a zip file before? .zip. Most everybody in here knows what a zip file is. Zip files are compressed files that are like, kind of like a, it's like a folder with a lock on it that you can lock up a bunch of files. Well, those folders need to be unlocked, right? And so we'll go ahead and start with the mixamo file. So what I want you to do is right click on mixamofiles.7z, and then you should on your there's a 7-zip, and you just want to do extract to that directory. I'll show it up on the projector again. 7z, extract to mixamo files. That's the option. Okay. And what it's going to do is it's going to open a folder. So I moved both of these files to my desktop, by the way. The Amazing Spider-Man file that turned up in my downloads folder, and then this mixamo files, I just saved that to my desktop. So you want to grab both of those files and put them somewhere where you know they're at. And you can do the same thing I just did here with the Amazing Spider-Man. 7-zip extract to the Amazing Spider-Man. So you have two directories, corresponding directories here for both files. So unzip them. Alright, then I want you to open up a new folder, file, computer, my computer on your desktop. And then I want you to go to this directory here, C user student documents Maya 2019 scripts.
My apologies. Could you repeat that?
See this directory up here? C user student documents Maya 2019 scripts?
Yeah.
Go there. Okay, so when you guys are there, I want you to open up the Mixamo Files folder, and inside the Mixamo Files folder, you're going to have one folder and 4 files. I want you to drag and drop those into the folder, the scripts folder. Just drag and drop them right in. And then those will show up in Maya.
Don't we need to reload Maya for that too?
No.
Oh.
That's a good question though, Danny. And the reason that is so we had already opened Maya. And the reason she asked that question is because sometimes when you load script files into Maya when it's already open, they don't load. But the cool thing about this is the script isn't actually loaded yet. We're going to go into Maya and we're going to load it, and then it's going to go search for it and find it from directories, not inside Maya's memory. Does that make sense, Danny? By the way, guys, I record all these lectures and I upload them to a YouTube channel. So later, you know, if half this stuff doesn't make sense to you, you can go back and watch it. But don't worry, we're going to do it over and over and over and over and over again until you're so tired of it you just want to, like, jump out a window, which we don't want you to do. Alright, everybody got this step? All we've done is we unzipped the Mixamo Files directory, then we had some files in a directory, and we moved those to this location, the scripts location, okay? Alright, the next step, let's go ahead and get the Amazing Spider-Man into Maya. So let's go into the Amazing Spider-Man directory. So open that up. There's two folders in there. There's one which is source and one which is textures. Okay. The textures is his colors and stuff. The source is another zip file, which we need to unzip. So right click on that other zip file, 7-zip, and do the same thing. You can just do extract here. Oh my gosh. Don't delete anything. So when you extract it, there's like a lot of files in there, that's actually a good thing. Interesting.
I have the normal map stored there as well.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But they're like all low res.
Really? I mean, it doesn't matter. This is obviously for a mobile title. All right. Everybody got Spider-Man unzipped here? Looking at all these files I'm looking at? The source file? Okay.
We're catching up over here.
Okay. So for you guys that are not catching up, what we're going to do is this directory here, I'm going to show you a trick. Click the directory up here at the top. See how I'm selecting the directory?
Yeah.
Right click on that, copy. Okay. Then open up Maya. And then go to File, Import. And then you can select the directory at the top, right click Paste, and then hit Enter. That's a cool trick. And then you want to select the OBJ file and import that. Yep. And when you import it, hit 6 on your keyboard, and the texture should show up. Danny, never mind. For those of you guys who are new to Maya, if you hold Alt on your keyboard and use your 3 mouse buttons, you can navigate and move around. That'd be a good place to start. So just hold Alt and use the 3 mouse buttons on your keyboard and navigate and move around. Get used to the interface. You guys need help?
Yeah, I got a little slow.
What,
My colleague can catch up.
what's up? What's your question?
Right now, where did you put the Spiderman file?
Yeah. So I had moved them onto my desktop here
Yeah.
and unzipped it. Did you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so go into that directory. And when you go into the Spider-Man directory, you'll have 2 folders, source and textures. See that?
Yes.
All right, go into source. And you'll see another zip file. See that? Right click on that zip file and extract it. And then 8 other files will pop up. See those?
Yeah, you got it.
All right, copy the path at the top. Select the path, right click copy. Got it?
Yeah.
Then open Maya. File import. And copy and paste the path at the top and then hit enter. Now import the .obj file. 6. Everybody with me so far?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Nope. Yes.
Would this be the same process if you were trying to import the spelling to Blender? Or would we have to be
Similar.
Blender files?
Yeah, similar. Alright, alright, so if you hold Alt on your keyboard and use any of the 3 mouse buttons, that will move, zoom, and rotate around the character.
I hit the number 6.
Okay? That's how you navigate. Get real comfortable with that, you guys. Another thing is you can left click and select on the object and tap F on your keyboard, the number or the key F, and that will zoom right to the object, and then center the object in the camera so you can rotate around the object. Remember, if you have a question, if you ask the person sitting next to you, just so you know, that's your buddy. Did you need something?
No,
Okay. It's okay to ask people stuff. Alright, so when you import models from online, there can be a bunch of stuff that's going on with it that you don't even know about. So the first thing we want to do is check the scene to see if there's any other objects or anything that have come in that we're not aware of. So go ahead and go to Windows, General Editors, Hypergraph Hierarchy. Windows, General Editors, Hypergraph Hierarchy. And now this is like in this view you can hold Alt and move and zoom and stuff too, like a 2D view. And what this tells me is there's only one object in the scene. It's just Mr. Spider-Man here, which is great. I hate this name though. It's massively long and all this. But it's interesting. You can get a little bit of information from this though. It says iOS enhanced mesh, which is interesting. But the iOS tells me that this Spider-Man was made for a mobile game. So there's probably a mobile Spider-Man game on iOS with this Spider-Man model. I would guess that. Go ahead and right click on that, rename, and call it Spider-Man. We'll keep it very, very simple. It's always good to have like simple names, you know, like short, simple. Then you can close out of that. Alright, the other thing is that when you import models from online, you don't know how big they are. Okay, whenever you're working with models in Maya, you always want to make sure that those models are about as big as they would be in real life. That's a good rule for working with 3D stuff. Always try and make sure its scale is accurate. I didn't start doing that later into my career, and it really started helping me. So let's go ahead and figure out how big Mr. Spider-Man is. And what we're going to use is the grid to help us to determine that. That grid is on the floor. So go to Windows, Settings and Preferences, Preferences. Windows, Settings and Preferences, Preferences. And then in the middle of the screen on the left, there is a Settings. And then to the right, you'll see working units. The working units right now are what? Centimeters. So we're going to change those to inches. Because when we talk about how tall someone is, do we say how many centimeters they are typically in America?
No.
No. No. We say inches. Let's change that to inches. Click Save. Now, when you save that, what it does is it adjusts the grid and it makes it to where each one of those squares on the grid is an inch. So how big is Mr. Spider-Man? It doesn't have to be exact, just guess. So that is not accurate. So we want Mr. Spider-Man to be more than just 1 inch. So if he's about an inch, what we want to do is select him, and we want to scale him up bigger than that. And everybody just look up here real quick. I'm just going to show you something. I'm just going to use a tool, and you guys don't have to do this. In fact, just watch. It's probably better. I'm just going to go create measure tools, distance tool. And then I'm going to tap my spacebar here, and I'm going to create this distance tool. Okay, and right now that's 10. So I'm just going to grab this, and I'm just going to type in how many inches in 6 feet?
6 feet, so 6 times 12.
Somebody Google it.
72 inches.
72? Alright, 72 inches. I actually should have done feet. What was I thinking? I'm retarded.
What? I was right?
No! It's impossible for your instructor to be wrong.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah, so we'll scale him up here. Why the heck did I do inches? What was I thinking? Okay, so the good news is, so what you do is grab Mr. Spider-Man, and on the right-hand side, you have your channel editor here. If you don't hit Control A, you can tap Control A a couple times until you get this. And you're going to, in the scale XYZ channels, you want to change those all to 100. Change those all to 100. And I'll go ahead and delete my measurement tool here. Don't need it anymore. So now he is about normal height, which is cool. Okay. Let's go ahead and save this scene file. Save scene as. And what we want to do is go ahead and make a folder on your D drive. Go to the D drive and right-click New Folder. And call that Spider-Man. I'm sorry. That folder is going to be your name, not Spider-Man. Make a new folder inside of your name folder called Spider-Man. Yeah.
Is it okay if we put, instead of the D drive, put it on our flash drive, on our external hard drive?
Actually, no, put it on the D drive for now. At the end of class, you can move it to your externals. The reason for that is because reading and writing from your externals is going to be a lot slower than reading and writing from the D drive, the local D drive. And you want to save this file as Spider-Man. Just call it Spider-Man. Save. Alright, so now we have Mr. Spider-Man scaled up the way we want him. Let's go ahead and export him and get him into Mixamo. So let's go to File, Export, All. And in that same folder, what you want to do is, instead of exporting this as a Maya file, it says Files of Type at the bottom. Select the Files of Type and then scroll down until you see FBX Export. FBX Export. So there's Files of Type at the bottom. Select that. Change it to FBX Export. Very important. Okay? And you're going to have some options on the right, and we are going to be working with FBX options a lot. So get very familiar with this, these options here. And the reality is that when we're exporting FBXs, there's only two different setting types. The first setting is for an object, like a character or something, and the second setting is for animation. Mostly we're not going to be doing a lot of animation stuff in here, except for like today and maybe a little bit down the line. So we're mainly going to be working with objects. Alright, since this is a character, expand the geometry drop down, and there's a checkbox called smoothing groups. Make sure you turn that on. What smoothing groups are is it's kind of like the way the light hits the character. It creates either smooth or hard edges, and we want to preserve this information. Otherwise, the character is going to look like faceted. Alright, go ahead and expand to animation. Since we don't have any animation, you can go ahead and turn that off. We don't need cameras, we don't need lights. You want to turn embed media on. And then this is very important. Under advanced options, FBX file format, we want to change that to FBX 2013. And the reason we're doing that is because the importer plugin for Mixamo Online hasn't been updated since the 2013. So it only likes 2013. Alright, so name this file Maya number 2 Mixamo. And the reason we do this is because we want to know the direction that this file is going. And right now it's going from Maya to Mixamo. Okay, so when we look at these files later, we know what file it is. Go ahead and click Export All. Then fire up Mixamo. And when you fire up Mixamo, there's an Upload Character button. Go ahead and click that. And find that file we just exported. Maya to Mixamo, and go ahead and import it. Alright, so moving down the process here, this is what we call Maya's auto rigger. And what's cool about that is what it's going to do is build a bone structure inside the character for you and build some controls for you that you can use in Maya. Alright, pretty cool. Go ahead and click Next. And it's going to come to a little GUI you can work with here. What you want to do is drag these little circles matching the diagram on the right to the right places on the character. Make sure you put the left wrist on his left wrist, not your left side. Does that make sense? Yeah. So left wrist goes on his left wrist. Chin goes on the chin. His chinny chin chin. Left elbow, make sure you put that in the right spot. Left knees. And then the groin. And then go ahead, once you got the diagram all laid out, go ahead and move down the process. Click Next. There's some other little options that you can adjust here for different characters. They have different finger types, so if your character has 2 fingers or 3 fingers, you can do that. This guy he's a normal human, so go ahead and click Next. And yes?
Is this like okay to use in like what level of like work is this being used for?
Honestly,
Or just portfolio wise?
I mean, if I was making a game, I'll be honest with you, I was making my own game these days, I would make something stylized. Because when you, and I would use mixamo. And it's totally legal and free to do that. They don't care. You can use these tools. You can even use all the characters on there.
And their rigging's pretty good, you say? Free.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, take a look. You look at it. What do you think? Does that? Do you have any problems with the way that looks?
No, free no. It's great.
Yeah, free doesn't suck. I've been rigging characters for a long time, and I will tell you, to get this kind of quality with like a couple clicks is ridiculous. Once we start getting into like real rigging, and you start to see how long it takes and how technical it is, you understand how valuable this tool is.
Will we be doing like any animation blueprints?
Will we be doing animation blueprints in here? Probably not, man. Yeah, we're mainly going to focus on like characters and rigs and stuff. But yeah, if I was making like a mobile game or something, or if I was making, even if I was making like a desktop game for Steam that was like stylized, hell yeah, I'd use Mixamo. It'll save you a ton of time. Oh my god. And money. Alright, everybody with me? Everybody here? Spider-Man moving around? Any problems?
Not yet. I'm still.
Okay, we'll wait on you. Actually, no, we'll not. Ha ha ha. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead and click next. Let's get Mr. Spider-Man in there. And he is doing the Macarena. Wait, that's not the Macarena. That's the chicken dance. I think they have some like thriller dances on here. Yes.
So for the animations that have like a pack to it, is it just like a full-on clip, or can you like mess with each animation and edit it how you want it?
Good question. So like, where do you find packs?
You just like go to the next page and there should be a couple like armor night ones.
Okay, well I'm searching for dance, so that's probably not going to be the case. What did you search for?
I just went to animations and did no search and just did the second page. Yeah, like those guys.
Oh right, okay. So longbow locomotion pack. Good question. What's interesting about that is that there's.
Have it to like a whole long clip.
Yeah, you know what's funny? So this longbow pack, like if you type in like draw, you'll notice that there is the one of those animations, and they separate them out in here. So you can find, if you find a pack, generally you could probably find, like, see, here's all the longbow stuff, all separated. Okay. I know we're gonna need an idol, so let's go ahead and do a search for idol. Yeah. All right. All right. Let's launch Unreal. On your desktop, there is an icon called Epic Games Launcher. Go ahead and launch that. And how many people in here play Fortnite? Anybody in here play or have played Fortnite? Don't lie. Don't lie. Just don't lie. It's okay. We're friends. Fortnite, baby. If you play Fortnite, you have an Epic account. If you don't, then you definitely have a Facebook, Google, PlayStation, Xbox, or Switch account. Log into Unreal.
It's all about business.
When did it become not cool to play Fortnite anymore?
We just add
The
some
second it came out.
You know what? You know what's funny? I have a great saying for that. Has anybody ever heard of saying "easy come, easy go"?
Yeah.
That's a perfect example. Great things take time to build. Remember that. Write that down. Make it to memory because it's so true. Fortnite got so hyped so fast, and literally nobody cared about it overnight. I mean, I'm just kidding. People still play the hell out of it, but there was a lot of hype about it, and then it seemed the hype is sort of people like, oh, Fortnite, whatever.
It was out for a while before it started booming.
All right, upper right-hand corner, there's a launch button in Unreal. Go ahead and click that. That's going to be in the Unreal Engine tab. Click the yellow launch button.
I'll just watch it from the desktop.
What are you talking about, Danny?
About the Unreal Engine 422. Right there. To the right. I downloaded that one.
This?
Yeah.
Does it launch it?
Yeah. You don't have to sign in or anything.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
It just does it from your computer.
Oh well.
It's quicker if you don't want to use your packs and stuff.
Packs.
Yeah, like I download the free monthly packs.
Oh yeah. All right. So once we launch Unreal here and launch in a new project, what we're gonna do is I want you to click on the New Project tab, and we are going to do a third person. So click on third person. So Unreal, for you guys that don't know, is a program that you use to make a game. And right now, for what our purposes, what we're going to do is we're going to put Spider-Man in our own game. Okay? Cool. So the directory at the bottom where it says C users, documents, what you're going to do is name that Spider-Man. And then you're going to put that, click the little three dots, and put that in your folder on the D drive that you created. And then click Create Project. Make sure you are using the Blueprint one and you're on third person. Okay? And go ahead and click Create Project.
Did you want starter content or no?
It didn't matter. All right. So let's do a little quick in Unreal here. Go ahead and hit play at the top. The play button. So when you hit the play button, move the mouse to the window, click it, and it will activate the window. And you can use W, S, A, and D on your keyboard, like you're playing a game, and the mouse to move around. Spacebar is jump. Alright, so this is a template for a third-person game. Alright, so hit escape for stop. And what I want you to do is, on the left-hand side, over here under content, click on content. And there's a little 3 lines on the left-hand side called show and access the sources panel. Okay, I want you to expand that. So you have 2 panels down here. Again, it's show and access the sources panel. And you'll see something called the mannequin. And then you'll see something called a directory called animations. And then we have the animations directory here. I want you to double click any one of those animations. Alright, so we get to the mannequin. And what I like to do is, there's a tab in the upper left. Grab that tab and drag it up into your main window so that you just have tabs. Okay? It's much easier to work like that. Unreal is like Maya. You can hold Alt and you'll move around and stuff. And the 3 mouse buttons, just like Maya. This is the animation editor for Unreal. It's called Persona. And as you can see on the right hand side, there's a list of animations. You can double click any of those and they will play. So for example, we have jump, idle, jump end, jump loop, jump start, jump, run, and walk. Okay, and these are the animations that attach to the corresponding code that makes this guy move around. Right. What we're going to do is we are going to use some animations in Mixamo, and we're going to replace this guy. So we have Spiderman running around the scene, not this guy. Okay? You've done this before, you know the deal. It's always good to do it again and again and again and again. So I can't tell you how many characters you have to put in the game. Alright, so we can close out of this character tab, and we minimize Unreal, and let's go back into Mixamo. Alright, so I said the first animation that we're going to need is idle. So hopefully you've chosen an idle. If you got a character, you want to choose an idle based off of your character. So if you got a character that's like moving around a lot, constantly in motion and stuff, you want something more action oriented. If you got a character that's just standing there and pretty boring, then you want kind of a standing there and boring kind of, you know what I mean? You want to pick animations that fix their personality. This guy really doesn't matter. Go ahead and click download button in the upper right. And when we're downloading animations, when you're viewing an animation in Mixamo, that's what you're going to download. Okay? So when we download animations, we want to download them without skin. We don't want skin. And what skin is basically everything but the animation. So like the character and the skinning information, right? It's mainly the skinning information. So we don't want skin. Go ahead and download that. And then in Mixamo, characters and animations are 2 separate things. They're handled separately. So we also have to download the character file. Okay? And the way you do that is, since we're looking at an animation right now, when we click download, it's going to download an animation. We want to be looking at the character so that when we click download, it's going to download the character. To do that, there's a little X to the right of idle. Click that. Character will be in a T-pose. So now he's in a T-pose. He's not playing an animation. So when we click download, we're going to download the character. Okay. So click download. Keep the settings as is. And then click download. So we've downloaded an idle animation and Spider-Man character. Okay. Alright, so when we were in Unreal, I remember that we need a few other animations. we are going to need a walk and a run. So let's start with that. Go up to search in mixamo, type in walk. And choose a walk. And there's a little checkbox on the right at the bottom that makes it walk in place. When we're putting animations into this particular video game engine, we want it to be in place. We want the motion that moves the character going forward to come from code, not animation. So basically the code says in the game, hey look, move this character from 1 to 6 or however long or how many distance over time. Okay, so once you got the walk animation, go ahead and download that. Make sure it's without skin. We don't download animations with skin. Make sure the checkbox for in place is checked before you download that animation. Very, very important. If he's walking forward, will not work. Correct. All right, now we need to run. Go ahead to the search box, type run. Make sure that's in place as well and download it. We will need a run without skin, of course. All right, the next step is jump. All right, so go ahead and search for jump. And I've chosen this one here, probably safe if you guys choose the same one as me. Make sure it's in place.
Is that the one with the red female as the character on the screen of it?
No. It was just called jump.
Is it the blue one, second row, second?
Yes.
Okay.
And we're not going to download this as is. We're going to edit it a little bit. And so I'm going to just jump into Unreal real quick and click on Jump Start. And when I look at Jump Start, there's 13 frames in there. And he kind of starts in motion and then ends kind of hanging in the air. I'm just going to try and match this. So in Mixamo, what I want you to do is slide the end slider for trim all the way back until it's about 13 frames. So he's going to kind of be in motion, then jump, then end in the air. So slide the trim slider back so that down at the bottom here it says 0/13. We're going to trim that, all right? And once you trim it, make sure the checkbox for in place is on. Go ahead and download it. All right, the next animation we're going to need is a land. Yes. And we're going to use this one here. And what we're going to do, it's called jumping And I'm just going to look at that one real quick. Jump end. That one is 5 frames, but I'm just going to make it 6. And what we're going to do is the land, we're going to trim the front side of that now. And it's going to start, let's see. It's going to start to where he's almost touching the ground, like he's about to hit the ground. And then he just compresses a little bit, and it needs to be 6 frames long. Like literally 6 frames. So he's about to hit the ground, and then he compresses, like this. Very, very short animation. 6 frames. You alright, Danny?
Longer amount of frames or not?
Nah, just 6. So this is all he does. He's almost about to touch the ground, and then he compresses. Alright, go ahead and download that. Yeah, I ended up doing 55 by 65. That seemed to work okay. Jumping. So far we have downloaded idle, jump, jumping, running, and walking. Alright. Alright, once those are downloaded, go ahead and go to your downloads directory. I want to do some housekeeping here. And the housekeeping I want to do here is go ahead and rename jumping to jump end. And rename jump to jump starts. So rename jumping to jump end, and rename jump to jump start. Oh yeah, and also you can rename Maya to Mixamo. Mixamo to Maya. So when it was going in, yeah, Mixamo to Maya. when it was going in to Mixamo, we named it Maya to Mixamo. But now, since it's come out of Mixamo, we're going to send it back to Maya, so we call it Mixamo to Maya. So again, we've renamed jumping to jump start, and we've renamed, we've renamed jumping to jump end, and we named jump to jump start. And then we renamed Maya to Mixamo to Mixamo to Maya. All right. Now let's go into Maya. All right, guys. So the process we have left here, I'm just going to give you a little roadmap. So what we're going to do is we're going to import all these animations into Maya. Then we're going to export them out of Maya into Unreal and swap them over the character. All right. So in Maya, we need to open our Mixamo tool, and we do that with the script editor. So the script editor, the way you open that is, I believe you can go Windows, where is the script editor?
It's under General Editor.
General Editors, Script Editor. Windows General Editors, Script Editor. Alright, and then we're going to go File, we'll do Open Script, and it's going to take you, it should take you to Maya 2019 Scripts, and then there should be a Python file in there, .py. Go ahead and open that. And then there's a play button in the upper right hand corner. Go ahead and hit play, and that will run the script. And then you should see the Mixamo controls script here. Alright, so cool thing about this script is it's pretty awesome. But we have Spider-Man in here that we need to get rid of. So do me a favor, just go to File, New Scene. File, New Scene. And you can save this, is fine. And what we want to do is import the file, the character file that we exported from Mixamo. So I believe that's in your downloads directory. So student downloads, yeah. We want to import the Mixamo to Maya file. Okay, import the Mixamo to Maya file. This is the one that we just downloaded from Mixamo. Yeah, and the way you know the difference is you should see bones coming out of his hands and feet. Right?
It's the Mixamo to Maya?
Mixamo to Maya, yeah. And then there's a little button on the script that says rig character. Go ahead and click that. The rig character button.
It should put a yellow little thing around him, right?
Yes. When you're done with this, rigging the character, I want you to save this scene in your directory. And this one we're going to call Spiderman Rig. Spiderman Rig.
So in our folder on the D drive.
Yeah. So you can grab these controls, and when you grab these controls, you can tap W and E on the control on your keyboard, and those will rotate and move. Control Z is undo. Okay, so you can, like, for example, I can grab his waist control and tap W for move, and I can move that around. You can grab his knee controls and move those around. You can grab, like, the hip control and tap E. E is rotate, W is move. Okay. You can rotate his arms, fingers. He has finger controls. So congratulations. For some of you, you've rigged your first character.
Wow.
You're certified.
It even lets you do after muscle control.
Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff. It's cool. I mean, for just like, you know, clicking a button or something, like, pretty convenient.
Yeah, he's having an error message on here. Professor, we can get the mixamo auto control we got.
Make sure he makes a new scene and imports the character, the mixamo to Maya character.
Yeah.
He's got it?
Yeah, I believe we followed.
What,
Oh,
did, what's the error say?
there must be a mixamo auto rig character in the scene.
So does he have bones on those characters? Do you see the bones on the toes and the hands? Yeah, I think he's got the wrong character. I think he imported the same character that he exported out of Maya. Find the one downloaded from Mixamo.
Yeah, I click right on the yeah, anyone Professor, where do you find the mixamo auto rig at? Is that on Mixamo?
So what's crazy is it used to be on the Mixamo website, but they took it down. Luckily enough, we downloaded the. It's Googleable. You can find it.
Okay.
But
we have it.
we got it. Yeah.
So this one is only good for iOS characters, or is this rigging good for anyone?
Whatever.
Okay.
I mean, to be honest with you, I've worked with a lot of different rigs. This one's pretty good. For games, it's good. If you're doing film, like, no, but film is probably more. If you're doing, like, commercials and stuff, like, this is fine. Games, fine. Real complicated games, if you're doing, like, you know,
Last of Us or something
God of
like that.
War, yeah, you know, like, probably not, but for, like, Fortnite, yeah.
What would you use for more interest rigging? Maybe Maya?
You'd custom rig it, which is what we're going to learn in here. This is the easy way. We do this the first class so you can kind of, you know, get an idea of stuff without having to, like, go too crazy, and then we start going crazy.
Yeah, because I've seen the process a little bit. And, yeah.
It's crazy.
Can't wait.
You all right? Everybody good? We got it? All right. Okay, so what we want to do is export our character here. And go to the Export tab. And then there's a checkbox that says Remove End Joints and Export Mesh with Skeleton. Check those. Remove end joints and export mesh with skeleton. Then go ahead and click Export Baked Skeleton. And this one we're going to export as an FBX with the same settings we already have. And we are going to, actually no, we're going to change the settings actually. I'm just kidding. We're going to, yeah, it's going to be an FBX. And let's go to those settings, because this is a little bit of a different deal. Smoothing groups we have turned on, but we're going to turn on animation this time. And the reason we're doing that is because we want to export the skin weights. We want the skin weights. And yeah, that should be it.
What was that?
So all I did was I turned animation on in the FBX settings. Everything else is the same. And this one we're going to call Maya to Unreal. You guys starting to see kind of why I do that? So we kind of know like which file is like, you know.
What does it mean when you get a warning error?
Don't sweat the warning errors. All right, it broke the rig. I don't know why it did that. I don't know. I'm gonna try something. Yeah, don't do that. You can just reopen the file. Reopen Spiderman rig. This is why we save our file before we do stuff. I mean, I didn't have to do that. Oh, well.
Oh, did you like import an animation by accident?
No, I didn't. That wasn't by accident.
Oh.
All right. We are getting on almost done, guys. I will have you out of here in 15 minutes. Maybe. We will be out of here in 15, 20 minutes. We are getting close on being done. All right, is everybody with me? All right. The next step is we need some animations. We got to put them in Unreal. So, go to the Animate tab. And click Import Animation to Control Rig. Go to your Downloads directory, find that idle, and import it. All right. Now, there are some animation settings we need to adjust. So let's go to Windows, Settings and Preferences, Preferences.
Oh, before importing?
No, it didn't matter. Windows, Settings and Preferences, Preferences. And there is an animation one in the middle. There's a setting in there called Evaluation Mode. Change that to DG. It's pretty important. And then under, let's see, time slider, There's a playback speed thing. Change that to 30 FPS times 1. Then click save. Now when you hit play on the timeline, it's going to play it at a normal speed. And it won't have any like glitch out errors. All right.
What did you change it to 30 FPS?
30 FPS times 1.
For mine, when I play it, the rigging like yellow stuff is moving, but the character itself is not moving.
Same.
Yeah, mine is.
All right. Did you change that evaluation mode setting to DG?
I'll double check back with you, so.
Yeah, just go to Windows settings and preferences, go to animation, and set it to DG. If that doesn't work for you, just go to File, Open Scene, and just reopen your Spider-Man scene, Spider-Man rig.
Do I close that off like the script editor? And
No, don't do that.
Okay.
Go to Spider-Man, open up Spider-Man rig, and then all you're going to do is just go to Animate, import animation to Control Rig, and then import that idle from the downloads again. Just re-import it.
Yeah, it works now.
It probably bugged out. The good news is it saved all those settings, so it should look like this. Anybody not here that needs help getting here? Where you at? So, if guys, raise your hand if you need help getting where I'm at. If you guys know what you're doing, please go help those people. We need help these people. I can only help so many people at one time. What's up, my man? I'm looking at you. What's up?
I was getting the animation from mixamo. I think I just
It looks fine. Did you open the control rig or the
So you just, I got it. I just get the animation right. The rig file, the one we got from Spider-Man. Okay.
Can you bring the small file? Oh, no, that's the release. Yeah.
So what do you use the most? What do you most familiar with? Really? Yeah. What's that? Blender, 3D Max?
I'm not Blender. I'm using the 3ds Max, Unreal.
Unreal or the yeah. But because I haven't really touched on anything else. I want to rig a little bit. Try saving it and then reopen it. Oh yeah, all of it's one of the more intimidating things. If I feel like how much it doesn't look too much. Most of it on Unreal. I'm trying to do level design. Yeah, I'm on level design too. I'm project development. But still a novice, but I work. Yeah, you now let's figure out if it's out of this, how it gets. It says
scene idle?
He's having trouble with his rig. Despite changing the preferences and everything, it's still stuck on default.
Okay. Did you reopen the scene and re-import the animation onto it?
Yeah.
Go to File, Open.
Whose problem was that? That's right, yours.
Oh no, Spiderman rig. It should have been called Spiderman rig.
God, you see? I guess I saw.
Are those physics like the
You two of them here?
No,
Maya 2.
Yeah, I was
Okay,
saying.
where's mixing?
Yeah, it was
Maya.
really good if you showed that part.
Yeah, I wanted to go ahead.
Oh, it took me an hour to get here. I left at 8.
Call that Spider-Man rig. Movies like open season and all that. Maya 2
For what it is and for when it was.
Alright guys, we need to export this animation. So, go to the Export tab, and we're going to keep end joints on and uncheck Export Mesh with Skeleton, because we just want to export the animation, not the mesh and skeleton. Alright? So uncheck Export Mesh with Skeleton from the Export area and Export Baked Skeleton. Click that. Alright, so now this file, we need to just check on one setting, which is Bake Animation. And we're going to call this Unreal Idle. Yeah.
You want us to save this specifically somewhere?
Yeah, put this on your D drive in the D drive folder, separate from the downloads ones. So right now we have files we've downloaded from
Did you say click off big animation?
yeah, well, uncheck Export Mesh with Skeleton, and then click Export Baked Skeleton, and you want to turn on animation inside the bake animation inside the FBX settings. I think mine broke. Okay. So we've got our idle here. That worked out pretty well. We need to export the other animations. file save scene as, and this one we're just going to call idle. Save it on your D drive. And this one's going to be, when you go to save scene as, it saves it as a Maya scene. We just always want to, each animation that we import, we want to save as a separate scene in case we want to go back and edit it later.
How do you make sure it's a separate scene? Or just by saving it?
Just by going file save scene as, it automatically wants to save as a Maya file.
Yes, sir.
Alright, now open up your Spider-Man rig again. You can go to File, Recent Files at the bottom, and Spider-Man rig. I want you to use the mixamo importer here and import the walk. So each time you want to import an animation, you have to open the rig file first, then use the Animate tab, import animation onto Control Rig, and go to your Downloads directory and grab the walk.
Is there a way to take an animation off real quick if your rig, if you accidentally saved your rig with the animation?
If you accidentally saved your rig with the animation, what you should do is import the mixamo to Maya file again, re-rig it, and then save the file as your rig file again. Make sense?
The Maya.
You're gonna have to re-rig it.
The Maya to mixamo or
You mixamo to Maya. You're gonna import that. Import mixamo to Maya file, then rig it again, then save that over your Spider-Man rig file. Make sense? Because you saved your animation over the Spider-Man rig file. Make sense? You with me?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You need to re-rig it because you saved over it.
I can just delete the other Spider-Man.
Don't delete anything. Save over stuff.
Well, what is it supposed to be overlapping? Because when I imported the new Spider-Man, it overlapped on the one I have.
You want to make a new scene.
Oh.
File, new scene. Import mixamo to Maya file. Then rig it. Then save it over your, save it as a Maya file over your Spider-Man rig file. Does that make sense? Because you had saved the idle over the Spider-Man rig file. Alright, so once you have your walk imported, we want to export that as Unreal Walk. Okay, so import animation onto Control Rig. Downloads, walking. So now he's walking. So I'm going to click export. Keep the settings the same. You should only have one setting checked, remove end joints. Export baked skeleton. All the settings should be the same. And this one we're going to call, save it to your D drive. We're going to call this one Unreal Walk. Alright, so that same process we just did with the walk, I want you to do that with the run. So, recent files again, reopen the rig file. Oh wait, save this as, go to File, Save Scene As, and save this as a Maya file. And this one you're going to call walk. So after every time we import an animation, we want to save a Maya file, just in case we want to go back and edit it again. That way we don't have to like re-import the animation every time. Alright, so now let's do the run. Open up the rig file. Import the run animation. Make sure it looks good. Then export it as Unreal Run. And then we got two more animations to export. You guys, you rock stars, can go ahead and just skip ahead. You want to do jump start and jump end. Okay. Jump start and jump end. Make sure you're saving your Maya files as you go. So this one's going to be run. So let's see, I'll do jump start here. So I'm going to first go to File, Recent Files, Spiderman Rig. So we got my T-pose in here. Animate, import animation to control rig. Go to my downloads directory and grab jump start. Now one of the tricky things about the jump start is it's 13 frames. So when you go to export it, in the animation settings, the end frame is 30. You want to set that to 13. You always want to make sure that your end frame lines up in the exporter here. And this one we're going to call Unreal Jump Start. I'll do the same thing for the jump end. Save our Maya scene here. This one's called Jump Start. Alright, so for jump end, same thing. Gonna open up the Spider-Man rig first. See that T-pose? Import animation to control rig from the downloads directory. Jump end, and I can see this one's 6 frames. So when I export it, I'm going to make sure that under bake animation the end frame is not 30, it is 6.
There's a link for the jump and start and end?
Correct.
Okay.
For whatever reason, the frame slider doesn't scale all the way to the end, so the tool picks up 30 frames instead of, we just want to make sure the end frame is correct.
And you just number it to the frames of what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can see the end frame here is 6, but the total frame is 30, but the animation only goes to 6. So jump in, go ahead and, so that one will be Unreal Jump End. Save that Maya scene.
Does it matter which jump you start with?
No,
First?
no.
Okay.
The goal is to just
Keep them all.
get them all. We need all those animations exported. So the reason why we're going through this hellacious process of getting these animations into Maya, because I can export all this stuff straight from Mixamo into Unreal, no problem. Okay, but the reason we're using Maya as an intermediary is because with these controls on the character, I can edit this animation, right? So if I want to make him like have his hands in a fist while he's doing his jump, I can do that. You can't edit animation in Mixamo. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But here I can get like really intricate like editing on this animation if I wanted to, which is why we use Maya as an intermediary. Okay? Alright, so last step here is the Unreal situation. Let's fire up Unreal. And I'm going to guess we'll be done in 10 minutes. I know I said 15, 20 last time, but I promise you we will be done in 10 minutes. So bear with me for 10 more minutes. All right, so in Unreal, go to the mannequin folder here, animations, and there's a file called third person anim BP. Okay, third person anim BP. If you haven't exported all your animations yet, don't sweat it. Just let's move forward here, and then you can always go back and get the rest of them. I want you to right click on that third person anim BP, and there's an option at the top that says retarget anim blueprints, duplicate anim blueprints, and retarget. What we're about to do here is retarget the animations and code from the mannequin onto Spider-Man. And actually, I've kind of screwed us up here. So cancel out of that real quick. I moved ahead too quick. Click on the content folder over here. And then I want you to make a new folder in content. Right click in empty space. Make a new folder, call it Spider-Man. A new folder in content called Spider-Man. Okay? Go into that folder and click import. We are going to import the Maya to Unreal file, which is going to be in your D drive. So D drive, find your name, Spider-Man, Maya to Unreal. Just go ahead and click import, import. Import, import, import until you get in there. Keep clicking import. Maya to Unreal is what we're looking for. Error.
Like how they show you go to third person, use like a mannequin folder, and you right click on the third person animation. Click duplicate, animations, and right click on that, and retarget it. And I didn't see what they were doing. It should have been all in your in your directory, in your users directory. So not in your C one, but like in this one. So just leave this in our let's make this for all of them. How do I pull it? Which one? Okay. Show only sample. Only what? Oh, that's it.
Oh, you don't mind the good part.
Oh. For Spider-Man and then like the import, and then the Maya to
Yeah.
All right, everyone should have Spider-Man in Unreal.
That's the only thing about that.
Okay. Now we're going to retarget the mannequin over to Spider-Man. So go back to the mannequin folder, animations, third person anim BP. Right click on that. Retarget anim blueprints, duplicate anim blueprints, and retarget. Okay. Retarget anim blueprints, duplicate anim blueprints, and retarget. Alright, there's a checkbox at the bottom that says show only compatible skeletons. Turn that off. Then you'll see Spider-Man pop up on the left called Maya 2 Unreal Skeleton. Click that and then click retarget. And what it's going to do is it's going to
Mess up the model?
it's going to go crazy. So if you double click any one of those animations, oh my god.
Nice.
It's like a broke neck bobblehead.
Oh yeah.
What the heck just happened? All right, so what happened there? Anybody know?
Something in the blueprint.
So the problem is that the mannequin has a different skeleton than Spider-Man. So when it's sending the animation from one skeleton to the other, it doesn't know what's going on. Right. So, all right. So what we need to do is we've got all these animations here. First thing is where it says third person anim BP. Right click, rename that to Spider-Man anim BP. Right click, rename. Spider-Man anim BP. So the BP file is the blueprint file, animation blueprint file for Spider-Man. That contains all the code in there that says, hey Spider-Man, when you push up arrow to move forward, play this animation. Alright, so we see all these animations here. Third person walk, third person run, jump start, jump loop, third person jump. Where it says third person jump, rename that one to third person jump end. For whatever reason it doesn't put the jump end on there. So third person jump, rename that to third person jump end. Okay. Alright, so all those green animations with the green tabs at the bottom, we need to replace those with ones that work that we exported from Maya. All the ones in our folder that are called Unreal Idle, Unreal Run, Unreal Jump End, Jump Start, those are the ones. So right click on, let's do the idle first. Right click on the idle, re-import with new file, go to your D drive directory and import the Unreal Idle file. Unreal Idle. And now when you click on it, oh my god. Really?
He's just a little shy. I could be that too.
That's bizarre. I don't know why that's doing that. That's not good. Did y'all's work or same issue?
Mine's off.
You just click on one, you'll see.
Oh, I know why that did that. Okay.
Oh wow.
Jump into Maya
Oh no.
and you're going to open up the idle MB file.
Are you not supposed to have to redo all of them?
No, we're not going to have to redo it all. Did I save this as jump end? Yeah, I did. Yeah, open up your idle MB file. So this is the reason why after every time we export an animation, we save the Maya file. In case there's a problem, we can come back in here and fix it. Alright? So here's what the problem is. How are we going to do this? Oh, okay. The problem is that we need to bake this animation. It should have baked the animation, but we're gonna attempt something crazy. Okay, so the animation tab here, click animate.
Do we need to bake animations with full?
Actually, hold on, let me think for a second. Okay. All right, so in the bottom right, there's like some layers here. Okay, right now we can't select the joints. So what I want you to do is there's a V. See where the V's are? The bind joint layer. Click the V on for that one. And then there's an R on that layer. Turn that off. And what this does is it allows us to select the actual joints. And so what I want us to do here is bake the animation to the joints. So just go ahead and drag a box and it'll select the joints. Drag a box over the character. It'll make the joints green. And then I want you to go to, up at the top, select hierarchy. Then go to edit keys, bake simulation. Edit keys, bake simulation. And that's going to bake all the animation onto the joints. Now we'll use our mixamo export tool again and export this file. Same settings, all the settings should be fine, over Unreal Idle. Over Unreal Idle. Don't save the scene. And then when you right click re-import in Unreal, it doesn't work. Yay. Man, that's so weird. Why is that doing that? I don't know why that's doing that. That's bizarre. Does anybody's work? Or is it all having the hands issue?
Everything works except for the mouse. I'm gonna try something real quick.
Everything works except for the arms, huh? You know, the only important things that we need.
I'm gonna try something and see if this works. Nope, that didn't fix it.
Oh, I have an idea. I have a crazy idea.
Oh no. I think it's something super simple.
Maybe, yeah, it is actually. Under advanced options in your FBX exporter, change that to a later version. So instead of 2013, maybe like 20, I don't know, 18.
Is it for exporting or for saving?
For exporting.
This one?
I'm hang on a minute. I'm trying just a quick. I don't know why that would do that though. Okay, no. Man. Let me just do a quick test here. How bizarre. have no idea why it's doing that. That should not do that. Why? I think it has something to do with the with the export tool. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna, instead of using the exporter here, for whatever reason it is breaking these arms, and I don't know why. So, okay. All right, everybody, open up 2 File Explorer folders here. Just minimize all programs. All right, and on the left side, go to Downloads, and on the right side, go to your folder on the D drive. Okay. And your folder on the D drive should have a Spiderman directory. And inside of there, you should have like Unreal, Walk, Idle, Jump, all this sort of stuff. I want you to make a... Actually, you know what I want you to do? I want you to just jump one up directory on the left and just drag that Downloads directory into your folder. Just drag it in there. So now inside your folder on the D drive, you should have a Downloads directory, and inside there will be all those animations that we downloaded from Mixamo. Alright? Yeah, you can delete Steam setup, and you can delete Blender setup. Okay, and then the last step is open up Unreal and then go File, Save All. Open up Unreal, File, Save All, and don't worry about anything else. And what we're going to do is we're going to stop for today, and then we'll pick up here next time. And we basically need to export Spider-Man a different way that I know 100,000% works. That tool it's kind of old, and I think it's kind of bugging out on the arms, and I don't know why exactly, but I'll have it figured out by next time, and we'll finish this up. Sound good? All right, you guys, have a good weekend.